What's up, everybody? We're going to talk about this rematch that we all been anticipating and waiting for a minute. Tyson Fury versus Usyk 2. The rematch on this upcoming Saturday when we come right back. Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean. And today we're going to jump right into this. But right before I get deep into the main subject, which is Tyson Fury versus Usyk 2, we'll talk a little bit about the Jaime Munguia situation from the Saturday night fight. Him fighting somebody, a French fighter that many people didn't know or were not too privy about. It definitely was a type of fight that we felt like Munguia should look pretty good against this caliber of opponent. And at first, it started off well. First round, they both were filling each other out. So it was a pretty, maybe somewhat of an even round in round one. They're trying to find their range. They're both throwing their jabs, moving around. Well, round two, kind of midway through or later in round two, situation happened, and Munguia, being fast like he is, going to the body sometimes, coming upstairs, and has a nice hook. He caught his opponent, Suras, with a nice left hook that sent him to the canvas. And it was a very powerful and fast left hook. And surprisingly enough, his opponent, Suras, got up on his knee, and by the count of around 8, he rose up to his feet. The referee said, "Are you okay to go?" He wasn't extra wobbly or punch drunk. He gathered himself together and got right back into the mix of that fight. Now, normally, if a person's hurt like that, they'll go really into a defense mode sometimes, or they might shell up. But this guy, he didn't shell up. He got right back out there to face his opponent, who had just dropped him. So you're going to round four, round three, and round four, kind of back and forth rounds. Round five, they turn up a little bit. They both going at each other pretty strong. Round six is another decent round for both guys. Who they, Roger? Yep, who they? So in round seven, the adversity happened. Round seven, Suras was up against the ropes. In round seven, they're going back and forth once again. Jaime Munguia, Suras, back and forth or whatnot. And you see Suras throw this right hand, I believe, and he missed it. But then when Jaime Munguia was in that type of situation where he had a lapse of concentration, Suras caught him with a right hand and knocked him out in round seven. So the guy that we thought would win ended up being the guy that lost. That's just how it goes sometimes. In boxing, you never know. Surprises like that happen. Like I said, it happened in the past. Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas. Mike Tyson drops Buster Douglas. Douglas gets back up. A few rounds later, he wins by knockout. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua drops him in round 3, and Ruiz gets back up and drops Anthony Joshua um, 3 or 4 times and ends up stopping him in round 7. So that's what's so great about boxing. You just never know the outcome, and you never overlook an opponent just because they don't have a name as notable because they haven't fought certain name opponents or their resume and experience level may not be up to a certain level. That don't mean that they're to be overlooked or that they're not hungry. A lot of times fighters that have something to prove and they want to make a name for themselves, that's their drive. That's their reason and their ambition to be very hungry. So they're going to come in and lay it all on the line. And that's what we saw with Suras. Um, he had nothing to lose. He was in there. He went for the gusto. He didn't let Jaime Munguia intimidate him. He didn't let the fact that he was fighting in Jaime Munguia's backyard of Tijuana, he didn't let that bother him. He got himself together after being dropped and came back like a Rocky story and won the fight. And ladies and gentlemen, that's just how boxing goes many a times. You just never know. They always say it just takes one punch in a boxing match. It can change the whole trajectory and outcome of that fight. And today on a Sunday, Dillian Whyte fought Teta over in Gibraltar, and Dillian Whyte had been training over in Portugal. But this is like his second fight over in Gibraltar because he fought Povetkin in the rematch in Gibraltar as well. Dillian Whyte stopped Teta, but it wasn't necessarily a great performance on the end of Dillian Whyte being concerned. On the end of Dillian Whyte, it was just a mediocre performance, but it was definitely something that he could get his rounds in, and hopefully his next fight is a bigger name, but you just never know what you may get from Dillian Whyte. He's always in these wars and these exchanges, and it gets real. He's always in the trenches when he steps in that boxing ring. So one thing about Dillian Whyte, he's normally going to always give you that type of fight. When you pay your money, you normally get your money's worth in most cases when it comes to Dillian Whyte, because people like to see the toe-to-toe action, and generally that's his fighting style, toe-to-toe. Shout outs to you, Bob Abrams. I appreciate you, mate. I hope Usyk gets the win as well. He's definitely a proper champion. I would agree with you. He does seem genuine, as you said in the chat. I would agree, man. Usyk just seems like a pretty laid back character, truthfully. But we'll definitely be seeing, man, on this next Saturday. We're going to definitely see if Usyk can win a second fight against Fury. And in the same aspect, we know Fury normally does better in rematches. With Wilder 1, it was a draw. Wilder 2, it was more of a domination from Tyson Fury, who came with a different style, a style of fighting, and a different game plan in the second fight. With Usyk, I don't want to get it twisted. Usyk's skill set is way different than that of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is very, very dangerous with his right hand. All it takes in most cases, in most scenarios, when he's facing his opponent, is if he lands his right hand one time, that usually will end the night. Well, with Usyk, he's different because, as we see, he's a volume puncher, and he's going to punch in between punches. He's going to time you. He's going to punch from odd and awkward angles. His footwork, he's constantly moving as he's um, punching. So he's kind of like defensively and offensively, he's working hand in hand. As he's moving out of range for you to miss him, he gets right back in range to hit you. And I know it's very his style is very meticulous, and he's very precise with his punch placement. You know, he understands ring generalship, ring IQ is top notch, pertaining and talking about Alexander Usyk. Also, Fury is he has a very high level of IQ himself. Fury is very well aware. You know what I'm saying? He's a big guy, and being that big guy, he knows how to big man people. We have seen that in the past, so we're not gonna. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like he doesn't know how to do that, because Fury, being 6'8", although he claims 6'9", he's at least 6'8" probably. But he knew how to take Deontay Wilder to force him on his back foot and put calculated pressure on Deontay Wilder. You know, pushing him back. He would lean on him when he got him in the clinch. He would lean on him, put his weight on him, even sometimes in a sneaking, smooth way, get Deontay Wilder in a headlock as he's leaning on him. So you figure a guy 6'8", weighing 270 pounds, putting you in your headlock and kind of leaning his weight on you, that's going to drain you, that's going to exhaust you and all that. It's going to wear out your legs. So that was how Fury was able to use those small, rough, and borderline dirty tactics to kind of get himself over the line and help aid him into defeating Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. With Usyk understands and has been doing film study, so he's going to know when Fury is trying to get rest or Fury is trying to grab him in an attempt to lean on him, to grab him, to try to rough him up. Usyk is normally steps ahead. When I've seen him with certain other opponents, I see where if they're trying to reach and grab him, he knows how to turn a certain way, how to pivot, how to roll up out of a situation, how to push you away. Even if you go back and review the first fight, I believe round 9, when he was hurting Fury, he bounced him up off the ropes, and as Fury was bouncing off the ropes, he would try to grab Usyk to get rest and to try to help himself, as far as try to recuperate and get a little time. Well, Usyk, knowing this, was able to deflect Fury from coming in to grab him. And when he was trying to grab him, Usyk was throwing combinations and just peppering him with right hand, left hand, back and forth. And and that's what you had. You pretty much had Usyk having the upper hand and having the mind and the ring IQ to press the gas when needed. And then the ref stepped in right in time as Fury was leaning back against the ropes, because if Usyk would have went there and swung another 1 or 2 punches, it would have been ugly. He would have been probably knocked out cold if Usyk had hit him 1 or 2 times when he was sitting there defenseless, laying up against the ropes in round 9. So in this rematch, I'm very much looking forward to this. Um, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be um, fireworks, and it's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be a chess match, but I think it's gonna be like a chess match and also a war. So you're gonna have elements of the toe-to-toe action that we all like, but then you're also gonna see both guys with a high level ring IQ, playing chess, like, hey, thinking ahead, if I go here or if I move here, what's his reaction going to be, and vice versa. This fight right here could potentially be the fight of 2024. Definitely the top three fights of 2024. Um, the Baturviev and Bivol fight, first fight, was a banger, and I believe that the rematch um, coming up with Bivol and Baturviev, I think it'll be better than the first one. Just like I see, and I feel that Usyk versus Fury would be better than the rematch would be better than the first one. And I think Fury's definitely more or less going to go for the knockout. But however, him going for the knockout, uh, the timing means everything when he chooses to go for the knockout, because when you do that, you leave yourself vulnerable at the same time. And Usyk can turn around and use a lot of things that Fury is trying to employ against him. When Fury's stepping on that front foot and coming towards him aggressively, sidestep, pivot, catch Fury from a weird angle with his punches, get Fury rocked and off balance, and then there you go. Once again, you got Usyk going ham and turning up once again and giving it to Fury. You know, um, so yeah, it's definitely a fight I'm looking forward to. Uh, hey, what's up, Scooby? Dez. Yeah, Dillian Whyte, man. I don't know, man. It's just one of them things. Like, he's definitely a up and down a lot of times. Certain fights you'll be like, man, he just put it all the way out there, and it was exciting. And then sometimes he performs, and you're like, you're kind of left like, you're not totally satisfied with the outcome of what you saw with Dillian Whyte. It's like it's missing something. But then there's other times he gives you the fights where you're like, you could kind of be on the edge of your seat, like, okay, he's about to bring the war, and he's about to go all the way in, you know, because that's generally what we see when we're dealing with Dillian Whyte. Um, and then as far as that fight I talked about before this with Suras and Jaime Munguia, um, that's a devastating loss for Jaime Munguia, who has like 40 some fights, and now that's his second loss. And then you fought somebody with less experience who only had maybe 25 fights. I think they definitely should run it back. I think Jaime Munguia should definitely um, press the issue and try to have a rematch against Suras, because if he just takes an L like that as he's moving up to the higher levels, and you take an L and just let it go, that could forever kind of like haunt him a little bit. But if he can avenge that loss, which I believe he can, if he can avenge his loss, uh, that would be a remarkable story. Because it's just like with Jaime, to me, his defense can get kind of he can get too comfortable, and he's always been a person who's left himself vulnerable to certain counter punches and certain shots. I saw that in the Canelo fight and a few other fights that he takes unnecessary punishment, and all it takes is for somebody like Suras who can land that punch. It has good timing and good accuracy, and that one punch could end the night. So if he was fighting like somebody on the level of Caleb Plant or I think he called out Caleb Plant a while ago, Jaime Munguia. Caleb Plant, I want to say Berlanga, and I want to say it was one more person. I just can't think of right now. But those, a person like Caleb Plant, who's a technician in the ring, he would cause real issues for, um, he would cause a lot of issues for Jaime Munguia. Um, yeah, I don't think that he would be ready for Caleb Plant, in my opinion, or at least not the version of what we saw this Saturday against Suras. Now, if he comes back and can take it to Suras and beat him convincingly, then there's a chance I would think that he would have a window to to beat Caleb Plant. But you know, as we know, Caleb Plant's tough. He's a tough guy. Um, he could take a decent punch. We saw him against the likes of Canelo and David Benavidez. Caleb Plant fought both guys. Caleb Plant fought both Canelo and David Benavidez. So that right there is a huge feat right there. Uh, Scooby say, you say you want the Wilder versus AJ? Yeah, yeah. I can dig that, man. Um, and you said Plant Demetrius. Yeah. Do I think Deontay Wilder should retire? Roger Downs. That's one of them things that anybody can have their opinion on, but at the end of the day, it's up to that man and for him to talk to his family if that's what what he plans to want to do. But in my opinion, I feel like Wilder's going to stick around for a few more fights just to see if he still has it. Which he's never been a well-rounded fighter, but he is a knockout artist. So, hey, maybe he can get a few more KOs up under his belt, and we'll see. Hey, Cuzzo, what's going on? Cuzzo down south. As always, I appreciate you and your support, and I appreciate everybody here supporting. Like I say, shout outs Robert Downs, Desmond Scooby, uh, L. I appreciate you, brother, for being here in this chat room and chopping it up. Keyshawn beating Tank. Um, I would have said no that Keyshawn doesn't beat Tank Davis, and I'm a Tank fan, so I'm gonna probably still say that Keyshawn won't beat Tank, will not beat Tank, but upsets happen. There is that small percentage that Keyshawn could beat Tank, but I don't personally think he would, but it's possible. I didn't think that Suras was gonna beat Jaime Munguia, and he did. So boxing is strange, where the guys that are up and coming fighters making a name for themselves, they do cause upsets. You know, They do cause upsets. So it's one of them things, you know. I would love Wilder versus AJ. Just for the sake, it's something that's been brewing since I got back into watching boxing. That's been the talk of the town. AJ versus Wilder. So hopefully we'll get it next year in 2025. Um, because I would love to see that, man. Um, so you say, Desmond, I'm going back to your top comment. You said you're worried about Fury getting old in one round, and then Roger, you said Fury is slowing down. Um, he may be to an extent. Fury may be slowing down to an extent, but a lot of that could come from the fact that he's always kind of like a yo-yo with his diet. Like he gains weight in between fights, he'll lose weight, and I think that's a lot on his body to keep going up and down. I think he needs to stay at a certain within a certain range, and I think he would be a lot better. A lot more like he used to be. But I think when he picks up weight going from 270 and then maybe going down to 250, 240, maybe, that's just kind of like a big jump, 20 pounds difference, 25 and 30 pounds difference. I think that's going to affect Fury. But one thing about Usyk we do know is that he's always physically in shape. He stays in the gym. He's like a gym freak. And that's what makes him dangerous is that he stays in shape. His mindset is always there when he steps into the fight. So he has a strong mentality. He's a gym rat, and he has all the skills that he has. So Fury has to get his mind all the way at a certain level, get his physique all the way to a certain point, and everything has to be like the best of the best. Like the best Fury that we might have saw was what? What do you think the best Fury performance was? Some people might say the Deontay Wilder wins. Well, that's not going to be enough for Usyk because Usyk is a whole different style fighter. He's not going to swing just one punch, trying to catch you to knock you out. Usyk is going to keep hitting you with collateral damage. It's going to be a flurry and combination of punches coming from Alexander Usyk, and that's what makes him so dangerous. Is that he keeps catching you even when you're hurt. He keeps coming. You know. L, what's up again, man? Parker or Dubois, man? I want to see that as well. I feel like I'm gonna stick with the fact. I feel like Parker's going to win. If that happens, I hope it's confirmed. I haven't looked on BoxRec yet, but if it's confirmed that 2025 will bring Parker versus Dubois, that's going to be another fight, and I think somebody's getting stopped. because we know if Dubois lands flush, he can clean anybody's clock. But something within the willpower and spirit of Joseph Parker is like you can knock him down, but he'll get right back up. You know, the only time we see him knocked out was by Joe Joyce. Even Zhang, who dropped him twice, he never sealed the deal. Parker got back up and fought with all his heart. He's going to be a whole different animal for Daniel Dubois because he's not going to lay down easy or be hurt uh, in the way that AJ was. Not saying AJ laid down, AJ kept getting back up. But once you hurt AJ, he's never recovered. You kind of have him in your clutches, so to speak. If you get AJ hurt, like he got hurt in round, I believe, 2, then Dubois just kept coming at him and taking chances because he knew that, okay, yeah, AJ is dangerous. He can punch, but I got him so hurt right now. I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that he's buzzing and still hurt and trying to recover. But somebody like Joseph Parker, who has a better recovery than AJ, who can shake off being hurt once he's dropped, I think he's gonna get right back up if he does go down and surprise Dubois with stuff he doesn't expect to come back at him. He has pretty good foot movement. I think he has underrated power. If you look at the Chisora fights, well, the Chisora rematch, Joseph Parker dropped him 2 or 3 times. And we all know Chisora is a very sturdy and tough opponent with a pretty good chin, you know. And Parker dropped him 2 or 3 times. So I can see Parker hurting and stopping Dubois. A lot of people don't think he can, but I think if he stops him, I wouldn't be surprised myself. But others may be. Yeah, Scooby. I know a lot of people will say, and I was going to bring that up too, is that Vlad was the best victory of a Fury, but it was the most boring probably fight because there wasn't a lot of action. Um, for whatever reason, Klitschko didn't engage a lot. He was very apprehensive. It was almost like he was already bothered mentally before the fight even happened. Before the bell rang, he was already defeated mentally. Like I've never seen Vlad look that bad against anybody, any opponent. That was his worst performance ever was against Tyson Fury. And I wish they had a chance to run it back before all the stuff happened with Fury and everything. I wish they had a chance to rematch because I felt like Vlad would have made adjustments. He would have came more game. He would have then understood the mindset of Fury, and he wouldn't let Fury get in his mind the same way he did the first fight. Because Fury, he normally wins the battle of the mind games, and I've noticed with Usyk, he hasn't won that battle. He hasn't been able to get under Usyk's skin and to destroy him before the fight starts. So a lot of his mentality, he's not getting over. He's not going to get over one on Usyk like he would anybody else. Even Deontay Wilder, if you remember, I believe it was a trilogy. Wilder wore headphones because he was trying to block out what Tyson Fury had to say. He was that bothered probably by the first and second fight in the press conferences that Wilder tuned him all the way out. He wore headphones. So it lets you know that Tyson Fury has the that gift of gab, and he knows how to say certain stuff and do certain things that that'll have you, that'll have you, like man, before you even step into the fight, you already felt like you're defeated. Yeah, yeah. Parker versus Dubois. I agree, Roger Downs. It'll definitely be a good fight, man. And speaking of that, Roger, what would your prediction be? Parker versus Dubois. What would be your prediction? I agree with you, Des. Usyk is definitely the master of the mind games, and he definitely beat, in my opinion, he beat Tyson Fury at his own game. I think he's the only one that we've seen so far that he's kind of turned those tables on on Tyson Fury. He's not letting him, get the last laugh, any of that. Hey Roger, did you see the Jaime Munguia versus Suras match Saturday? And everybody in the chat room, do me a huge favor. Everybody, hit the thumbs up button, please. Everybody in the chat room, please hit the thumbs up button. L, can Bud beat Canelo? In my opinion, if he did, it would be a decision win. I'm not necessarily a Canelo fan, but I also like to be real. I don't like to because I'm not a fan of a fighter. I'm not going to just say something that's off the wall. Um, Although I'm not a fan of Canelo, it's like his chin is what it is. He has a granite chin. Um, I don't believe he's ever been knocked down, so I couldn't see where Bud had would have any more power than um, Dimitri Bivol, or Caleb Plant. Maybe Caleb Plant, maybe, but definitely not as much punching power as Dimitri Bivol, who was a natural 175 pound. I can't see where Bud could stop Canelo. I could see him possibly winning on points, but it's a dangerous fight for sure for Bud Crawford. That's a dangerous fight, but it's not impossible. And I heard the fight may happen. One of the coaches, one of the boxing trainers, uh, it might have been Manny Robles. He was saying that he heard that the fight is supposed to happen next year, 2025. So I hope that happens, L. I definitely hope it. I definitely hope it'll happen because the two ways I see it is Bud Crawford winning on points or Canelo stops Bud late. But I mean, saying that sounds funny because we've never seen Bud stopped. So that fight right there would be interesting for sure. Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez would definitely be a special treat. Let's see. You said Scooby, you said they are the same height, and you said Canelo has the reach advantage. Oh, Crawford has reach advantage. My bad. Um, yeah, man, and that's one thing about Crawford too, man. The reach advantage that he does have over any opponent, he knows how to use that 1 inch, that 1.5, that 2 inch reach precisely. He's very, very, very accurate. You know, it's almost like how Shakur Stevenson understands the science, but he's not like Bud, where Bud is a technical fighter like Shakur, but Bud has that killer instinct factor too. And I think that's what he wants Shakur Stevenson to have. Bud, he can box you, but he also can stop you. You know, when we saw Bud do what he did to Errol Spence, I just sat there with my mouth dropped, like, what? He dropped him early in the fight and then dropped him multiple times again and just battered. He just battered Errol Spence, man. I didn't think that my boy Earl would ever go out like that, you know. Uh, so that showed me right there. Bud Crawford is a special fighter. I wasn't a Bud Crawford fan. I'm an Errol Spence fan. But I got to give much respect to Bud Crawford because he is nothing to play with. He is nothing to play with at all, man. And I agree with that too. Crawford was definitely stronger, Scooby. He definitely was, man. He was definitely stronger. And that was the one of the main things, you know. Stronger, more versatility, more tools in the bag. He's a switch hitter. There's just so many tools and skills that Crawford had that Spence just wasn't accustomed to. He wasn't accustomed to that style of a fighter, man. And I'm a Spence fan for sure. But yeah, so um, it's gonna be a good weekend coming up this weekend. Um, with Crawford, not Crawford, but with Usyk and Fury on this upcoming weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Counting down the days for sure. And shout out to my guys over in UK that have a very friendly banner pertaining to Fury versus Usyk. Shout outs to Jamie Go, Neil Batterby, and Paul Keynes. Every time Usyk versus Fury happens, we do our banner and we go back and forth on our predictions on who will win. Y'all guys are Team Fury. I'm not Team Usyk, but I feel like Usyk will win. I won't say I'm Team Usyk because I'm not really a Usyk fan, but I respect what he can do. But I think that he has the tools, and he's going to be very problematic for Tyson Fury because everything Tyson can do, other than have power because of the size that he is and the leverage he would have because he's so long. Other than that level of power, I feel like Usyk is better in every other department. He's going to be faster with his hands, faster with his combinations, faster on his feet. He's a southpaw, so that's going to give issues to Fury. He's just awkward, man. He's just very, very awkward. Uh, hey, what's up, L? Yeah, Morel or Benavidez? Um, I like Benavidez a whole lot, man. I definitely like him. I could sound like a broken record. I really wish that Canelo would fight and give us David Benavidez fight. We know it's not because of David Benavidez. We know that it's Canelo. For whatever reason, he doesn't want that smoke with David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez will beat Morrell, but it's going to be a good experience. Like Morrell's going to make him work for it, you know. But I think that David Benavidez could possibly stop him late, because one thing about David Benavidez, kind of like Canelo, these are guys who seem to come on stronger in the second half of the fight. That Canelo and David Benavidez normally they start to pick up and really wear down and break down their opponent. Kind of like how we saw with Caleb Plant. David Benavidez came on real strong and he was really applying pressure. And there were a lot of times, as much as I like Caleb Plant, because I am a Caleb Plant fan as well, but the referee seemed to be saving Caleb Plant and kind of intervening. So Benavidez, when he had him hurt, he wasn't able to like finish him off and stuff like that, because the referee kept being in the mix of them. So I can see where Benavidez late could possibly stop Morrell, potentially. That's another good fight to look forward to. Morrell versus David Benavidez, aka the Mexican monster. Yeah, for sure, man. So so we're just talking about Morrell Benavidez, yeah. So yeah, we got a quite a bit of some good matches cooking up in the different weight divisions and throughout boxing, you know. Because like I said, we're talking about Parker versus Dubois, probably in 2025. Morrell Benavidez. Um, uh, Canelo versus Bud. Um, it's just Fury versus Usyk coming up. So there's a lot of good fights coming up, actually. So when I see people talking about boxing, it's like, talk about it for what it is, and give it, talk about it in the positive light, in the fact that we're getting a lot of decent lineup. We have some lineups of fights going down. So I don't see where or see how some people are being disgruntled, thinking that we're not getting good fights right now. Shout out again, Scoop. Hey, I'm gonna send you that link, brother. Just give me a little second because I got somebody else coming on, and we're gonna chop it up, and then I'll have the link sent to you for sure. You know I got you. Yeah, so it's a lot of things going up in boxing. Uh, Lamont Roach and Tank coming up soon. Floyd Schofield and um, Shakur Stevenson. So next year, 2025, it's quite a bit of stuff that's going to be keeping us occupied in boxing, man. It's gonna be keeping us occupied for sure. You know. So what do you think about Roger Downs and Dez? What do y'all think about Shakur Stevenson versus Kid Austin, or anybody in the chat room? What do y'all think about Kid Austin versus Shakur Stevenson? What would be your predictions? I feel like it's going to be a situation um, that Shakur would outbox him. I don't know that Shakur would take risk, even though uh, Schofield is somewhat green and not as experienced. I would think that this would be the opportunity, an opportune time for Shakur to go ahead and just turn it up a notch and try to make a statement. But I think that he just would be maybe somewhat tentative and won't let his hands go as much. He'll do enough to win the fight, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he can do like Bud Crawford or like Pretty Boy Floyd back in the day, where he can stand in that pocket but deliver it and drop his man and go for a stoppage. If Devin Haney has a rematch with if he has a rematch with Ryan Garcia, I guess I can see Ryan Garcia winning. I mean, even though it's a big spill over the fact that Ryan Garcia was supposed to be on performance enhancing drugs and had extra stuff in the system, and a lot of people are pointing the finger and saying that that was the main catalyst on why he won the fight. I personally feel like Ryan Garcia I think he's just the stronger guy. I think he's stronger, and I think he's just going to overpower uh, Devin Haney again. I just don't. I mean, Devin Haney got a lot of heart. He kept getting up, so we can say that he has a decent. He has good recuperation skills. He has recovery skills, but I just don't think that Devin Haney can do anything that's gonna. He doesn't have enough power to keep him honest. He's not going to be able to uh, keep him at bay. Ryan Garcia is going to take chances because he's going to look at Devin Haney like his punches are not respectable enough. That his power is not respectable enough for him to respect. So he's going to just keep walking him down and kind of having his way. Kind of like he's going to kind of be a bully once again. I think if they fight in a rematch, I just personally don't see Devin Haney beating Ryan Garcia. Uh, Dez, you say 50-50, Morel Benavidez. Yeah, yeah. Definitely going to be a good one, man. Definitely a situation where the fight can go either way, you know. It can go either way for sure. And that's what's so good. You know, like I said, that's what makes boxing so great is that, any given time, any given match, a 50-50 fight that you might perceive to be 50-50, it could be totally different. I thought Bud versus Crawford was 50-50, and it was total opposite. It was pretty much a one-sided affair. And as we all know, Spence got the shorter end of that stick in that match. And it was not a 50-50 when it was all said and done. All right, all right. If you can hear me, bro, Zoe, uh, trying to get you connected. Make sure your microphone is enabled. Unmute your microphone and make sure your camera is like a selfie towards you. Um, so while I'm waiting on my 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 big cousin to jump back on here, let's just talk about some fights we would like to see. So, on your wish list for New Year's in 2025, who are some potential matches that everyone would like to see? Who would you like to see in 2025? I want to see Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. That would be the first one. Now, the second one would be Tank versus Devin Haney, but I'd rather see the Shakur Stevenson first, especially providing the fact that they're both undefeated fighters. Although technically Devin is now because his loss to Garcia was overturned due to the drug situation. But I would rather see Shakur Stevenson versus Tank than Haney versus Tank in 2025. Another fight I want to see is Charlo versus Caleb Plant. I would like to see that. Scoob, you say Badu Jack versus Ja Apataya. Whoa, yeah, man, that would be interesting. That would be interesting for sure, man. Old Ja Apataya, Australian, southpaw, slick fighter, well rounded. He's well rounded. I think a few people think that he hasn't been maybe battle tested at a certain level, but this will be a good one. That would be a good one for sure. That would bring in 2025 the way it needs to be. Um, who else? Who else for 2025? I had to think of somebody else that's a big fighter out here. Well, Caleb Plant, I brought him up, but him versus Boo Boo Andrade, that would be a good fight too. Loma versus Keyshawn. Oh wow, yeah, the old school vet versus the young lion Keyshawn. That would be different. That would be different for sure. Mario versus Matthias at 140. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, so to everybody in the chat room, hey, we're gonna keep this, we're gonna keep it running. We're gonna take a little slight intermission here, and just stay tuned and stay on standby, please, because we're gonna be right back with a special guest, and he was the same guest that I had talking about Fury versus Usyk 1, and we want to also cover the rematch, Fury versus Usyk 2. So we'll be bringing on Big Zoe here shortly, y'all. So be on standby. What up, bro?
What's going on with it, bro? Can you see?
Oh man.
Mic fucked up. What the hell going on? Trying to get this shit situated. I don't know how to get this light shit going.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That's good. Let me see. You said the camera was upside down. So I can't even rotate the camera on these.
Nah, you right side up now.
Okay.
DD said greetings, bro.
Okay, till I said what's good.
DD said was good.
Mm-hmm. Right or not. I don't know if I'm squared up or what's going on. We'll try. Yeah, let me see something, man. Damn. It looked dim on y'all.
Okay. Yeah, you good.
You said that's good.
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. I don't know why it's going out like that, bro. Like dark and shit. I had it at first. It was cool.
Uh,
Is that better or
Can you
no?
put it on the floor? What do you mean, like by his feet, or just to the side? To the side. To the side on the floor. Yep. Right there.
That's it. All right, gotcha. Yeah. So what did you cover so far?
All right. So pretty much we gonna talk about the Usyk and Fury rematch.
Okay.
What we think the strategy for each guy gonna be on this rematch. What
This
adjustments?
strategy. Okay. The adjustments they each bringing it to the table. Bring it to the table now. Like what they could
Yeah.
have done better. As far as
Yeah,
what
what
they
they
could
could
have
have
done
done
better.
and what you think they may do.
Okay. That's different than the fight prior.
Yes, sir. Hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm with it. I'm with you. I'm on the same page. Yeah, I'm on the same page. Kiki do a good one.
Yeah, I was trying to get him on, but I think he didn't have the headset. So I'm gonna have to maybe next time go out there and actually show him myself how to set it up.
Okay. how, how do I pull up the chat?
Uh,
So I
slide
just go to
over,
comments, right? Okay, got you.
just tap it.
So am I still in there? So I say, am I tapped in there? Okay,
Yeah,
I
you
can read
should
them
be.
now. Okay, I can read them now.
Okay, cool.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, man.
So what I do? Go back to the camera or hit the X. Exit. All right, got you.
Yeah, man. So to everybody out there, if you didn't see some of the throwback episodes, me and Big Zoe had did a coverage of Usyk versus Fury, part one, um, on a prior episode, and right now this is gonna be like the follow up. You know, for us to talk about what we think the outcome is going to be on Saturday.
Am I delayed?
Oh no, you're good.
Okay. So you talking? What you got? Somebody? You comment on the question? Or you setting
Yeah,
some things
yeah.
up? Let me know where we going.
All right, so we ready, man. So um, we'll just start off with Tyson Fury. What did you see that was the flaws in that first fight?
As far as the flaws with Tyson Fury, Tyson didn't stick to the script. I think at the very beginning, as Tyson's trainer said, basically, for the most part, man, you gotta stick to your fundamentals, stick to your plan, what you came in with. I think all the way up until the ninth round, like he jokingly says it to not get caught in the ninth round. That's just as a joke, but at the same time, it means that to me, I take it as as you get into the deeper the waters of that match, you got to basically you got to stick to the script all the way around the board because usually gonna fight you all 12 rounds. He gonna fight you all 12 rounds. So the moment and it take 12 rounds. It only take one time to slip and get caught and lose the match. And I think where Tyson kind of went wrong at he started doing a little bit more showboat. And in my opinion, I think that was the fatigue kicking in and the fact that he's trying to kind of psych himself out of the fatigue. By all the little antics he started to pull. When they fought the first time, and he paid for it because he got caught with that shot. You know,
Right.
um, and I think that just mathematically, there's no reason for Tyson to lose a fight to Usyk just because of when you look at the height, the reach, about a 6, 7 inch reach difference. I think Usyk coming in at about a 78 reach, Tyson around 84, 85 inches of reach. That's enough to keep a man off of you. And then the fact that Tyson is not a weak guy. That's not a weak dude. Um, I think at times discipline comes into play. But I think if he stick to the fundamentals, I don't think he needs to change much in what he did from first fight to now because what he started off doing proves to be, it proved to be beneficial. It paid off. Um, and like I say, anytime, any sport becomes physical, it only take one shot. It only take one shot. And that's why you got to protect yourself at all times. Every inch of that ring, you got to kind of have an idea of where you are. And I think Tyson lost focus of that. I think with Usyk, I think his weakness gonna always be his weakness. I don't think he can really take a body shot. So with that being said, I think Tyson one needs to explore more of his body. You want to break the guy down that's running circles around. Let's be honest, like Tyson not going to be able to keep up 12 rounds chasing Usyk. And if
Right.
Usyk was a smart fighter, that's exactly what I would make you do. And I try to repeat the first fight. It's only going to take me one time. And if I know and I see that you're fatiguing, as the rounds go on, I'm going to take you into the later rounds. I'm going to do the same thing to you. I'm going to catch you with that shot. Because I feel like at the end of the day, the shot that Usyk hit Tyson with, he was waiting for that. But he did it patiently. That's why they called him the cat. You know,
Right.
they call Usyk the cat for a reason. There was some sneaky
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers, man. And at the end of the day, they already got in mind what it is they gonna do. They already, you know, they got you on their radar. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of win. A cat is really one of the best species when it comes to a waiting game. They'll wait patiently for a long time. And when you got guys like Tyson that try to come in, put on the show and get it done and get it over with, when you got a guy that got a lot of wind and a lot of stamina, you can end up in trouble, man. I think that's what happened with Tyson in the first round. But as far as my decisions on this fight, it's not going to change. I'm still with Tyson. I'm still with Tyson. Now, if Tyson would have obviously shown signs that, and I don't like to use this, but like the Earl and the Terrence, to me, in my opinion, Earl was outskilled. And when you outskilled, it's hard to really find the opening to do something. The body snatcher and Crawford, that was a hell of a fight. And I think we're gonna get the same kind of crowd, same kind of excitement with Usyk and Fury Part Two. I think Usyk is ready, even though we haven't seen much of him. I haven't seen much of him. He don't do much media, but I think he's more than ready. And if any advice to Usyk, I would say tighten the body up, get his body prepared. And hopefully Tyson Fury, he gonna focus more on that. Keep the jab, keep him off him, keep the weight on him. Not to say that's gonna play too much of a big factor because, like I say, Usyk been fighting bigger guys his whole career for the most part. He's been dealing with that. The fluctuations of the weight, so he's used to that. So as far as Tyson just trying to use the body weight, that's not going to be enough. He's going to have to actually use the body weight and break Usyk's body down. And as far as Usyk, when it comes to his strategy with Fury, stay away from him. Stay as far away from him, or stay as close as you can with him. But to try to get in line with Tyson Fury, it's not going to prove to be right. You're gonna have to keep it moving. You're gonna have to stick a move, the same thing he did the first fight. I gravitated a lot towards Usyk from that because he beat one of my guys. So, I got a lot of respect for Usyk, but I'm still going with Tyson.
Yeah.
What you think? How you feeling about that?
Definitely, man. The breakdown you gave was definitely A1 that Fury needs to key in on Usyk's body, and but don't get too overzealous, in any department, because that's when something usually happens. So pick and choose when the time is right to attack to the body, but also, when he's going to the body of Usyk and Usyk's trying to protect it, and he leaves himself vulnerable, come up with something. Whether it's the uppercut or a hook, have something unexpected that Usyk ain't expecting.
See, that's
He's so
why I think
witty.
it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. Usyk's very clever and witty and light on his feet. And southpaw. So that's gonna give Fury a little bit of issues anyway. Because he's left-handed. Power left hand.
Right. And I don't want to take nothing from Usyk. Usyk is super seasoned. Super seasoned. 15 losses in the amateur, 335 fights. Like that by itself outdoes sometimes a person can be good, but sometimes experience will prevail. And I think when it comes to Usyk, I think that's what a lot of people don't take into consideration is his experience. Like, as a figure of speech, we say we could do this shit in our sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't fought 335 battles as an amateur before you even turn pro. Okay. And out of 35 fights, you lose 15. Out of 300 plus fights, You only lost 15, and that's in the amateurs. That's before pro. Now we all know the amateurs of our days or the days before. A lot of the amateurs would have been the champions of today and of then. They just didn't have the regimen that guys that we see nowadays on the screen have. They don't have the backing. A lot of times, some of the greatest fighters hasn't even had a chance to get in the ring on the grand stage because of different, decisions and mistakes they may have made prior to that. So the ones who actually made it to that stage, coming from seeing individuals like that, like a lot of those names, it'd be hard for them to say, yeah, my hardest fight was such and such, because you only name individuals who's on the same grand stage as you. So 335 fights, you done fought a lot of styles. You done fought a lot of different strengths. Um, you done been hit with a lot of different punches. Variations of weight, you know it. You know it. You won heavyweight championships even as an amateur on a level, just on that level, European and, if I'm not mistaken, international before pro. I mean, heavyweight is not something you're a stranger to.
Right.
Just one thing about heavyweight, that's something that Tyson is used to. You don't really know no other way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you've been big all your life, that's kind of what you know, and you kind of work with what you got. Usyk was an underdog. His stature is a little different, so he can hit with the best of them, power, pound for pound, power for power. But he can move better than most of them in that
Right.
weight. It's kind of like Roy Jones when he, started to step up his game and go for belts in different divisions, heavier weight classes, things of that nature. Like, he proved to be successful, but a lot of his success was the fact that he was agile and he was able to move and maneuver and get around, but still deliver the same type of blow and the same power as if he was, the same weight as the guy he's fighting. And that's what makes Usyk dangerous. And, his undisputed, he deserved that. He deserved
Right.
that. In weight,
Yeah.
that's not the size that, you know, uh, that's not the size you'll expect in a heavyweight to reign overall and kind of lord over that division. That's not the size of a guy you would expect. Anthony Joshua,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, you know, Parker, Joshua Parker, those guys is because the size, the mass of just of their physique matches what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think Tyson better get his mind right. My heart is with Tyson, but my head is kind of on the fence, and so I'm
Yeah.
not betting on this. So I can kind of go with it a little bit different. I'm gonna say I'm gonna still go with Tyson. That's with my heart. But if I was
Okay.
under the advice of let's go put a bet in, I don't know if that'd be the same thing where I put my money in. So
Right.
yeah,
Man. Yeah, I like that, man. And then I seen an interview with Dillian Whyte, and then a past interview with Daniel Dubois, and they're pretty much saying when you fight Usyk, you got to take it to him. I think that's easier said than done. I think even Fury knew that, because if it was that simple, Fury would have used that strategy. He would have fought Usyk in the first fight like he did Deontay Wilder in the rematch. But
you said that's how he would have fought Usyk.
yeah, if it was that simple in the first fight, I think that he would have did like he did in the rematch with Wilder and come on that front foot and try to plow him and try to big man him. But I think Usyk, being more of a boxing brain than Wilder, he's not going to just stand in a straight line. His chin ain't going to be straight up in the air. He's
That's why he
constantly
did like the
zigzagging,
same.
zigzagging, sidestepping. He's just a whole different skill set than Wilder is.
Yeah, that's why he got the. That's why the fight with Usyk was a different fight because he was dealing with a different caliber.
Hmm.
Period. I don't. After a while, you get tired of just seeing somebody that can hit hard with no skill. I don't want to see that.
Right.
Let alone pay for it. That's not what I want. Because give me a different sport than boxing and make it exciting, then that'll be okay. But a guy that just punch hard as fuck and you don't have any skill and is not looking because it's haymaker. Like I like the sweet science and the art of boxing because it's a sport. It's a skill, and when you got skills, man, it should be able to be shown in the way to where it only take experience. Like when you seeing guys throwing multi punch combinations, switching, just in training, that's the part that excites me to see that actually being exercised in a real situation for the bag. Not a guy that's just going there throwing haymakers and shit, and it's nobody else is gonna fight because the way that the boxing world is now is just it's so many, in my opinion, um, rigged, so to speak, for a lack of better words. It's too rigged for me, you know, because in my day coming up in boxing, Deontay Wilder would not have been a name. Period.
Right.
And that's in my opinion. No disrespect to the brother. It's all love just to see another brother get some money, but I have an opinion, and I won't voice that. He should have
Right.
never. I don't see how he reached the height without the politics in the game. Without the politics, you know, and that's kind of why I'm liking the way they're doing it with that the way Dazzler is doing it right now, as far as the Saudis getting involved, and they feel if you got the skill, you got the mouth, you got enough ability to sell a fight, shit, we gonna get you in here. We gonna get you some money.
Right.
Ain't no more, guys having to jump through hoops like Terrence Crawford had to do to become the guy that he was.
Hmm.
Terrence been deserved the money fight. Period. He been deserved it, and I was not a Terrence fan. You know that. But just seeing what he brought to the table, and the fact that the platform, some of the platforms that he was on in the way, when the fight is promoted, that's a real big part of the crowd, the curiosity, uh, the attention being paid to you, the way it's being promoted. So if you under promote it, yeah, you're not gonna be like that. I'm not hearing you. I'm not seeing much of you. I just see you as a guy on the side in a B class situation talking shit because the media got me on these guys, and these guys. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like Terrence, he's been deserved the money. If you
Hmm.
ask me, he's been deserved, to get into
Definitely
those kind of
deserve the
fights.
bag.
Yeah. So as far as taking the politics out of the sport, I think Usyk is on his way out. If you take the politics out of the sport, it's a lot of guys in heavyweight up and coming. Um, and I think we need to start getting back to the fundamentals of boxing versus barroom type fighters getting on a big stage under the pay per view clause.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. But my thing is, um, I think Usyk is on his way out as well. I don't think he has much passion left for the sport, just off of, to me, the lack of public appearances. Just I don't see much being done. Although he does live in another country, but yeah, you see and hear a lot of what Tyson Fury is doing. And he makes sure
Right.
he reach out on a regular basis and keep his name relevant, keep his name popping.
Hmm. Yeah, you do.
I don't know. I like an exciting champion. I don't see that being with Usyk, but that don't take nothing from him. His ability to and what he's accomplished. And I don't think there's a lot of guys out there that can deal with him. He would have stood the test of time back then as well. He's one of those guys. He's special.
He's
He's
special
special.
for sure.
I guess Tyson Fury for me right now, he's still one of the very few that held on to the fundamental and the skill set of boxing, the art of it. So I guess that's why I'm a fan of it. But Usyk, he would have definitely been able to stand the test of time with a lot of greats back then. He would have still made a name for himself. His name would have still been known. It would have been in the books. It would have still been in history. That's just, what I can say about Usyk.
Right. Yeah, man. I guess if I give my prediction, uh, I would say
Right?
Usyk stops Fury in round 10.
Usyk stops him in 10.
Yeah.
I think Tyson will be in trouble. I can agree Tyson might be in trouble if he get past 8 or 9. I do see that. But the fight from the first fight, right?
Mhm.
The strategy he used wasn't too much. It didn't waste too much energy. It
Right.
was a
Right.
really good. It was a really good strategy. Stick, move. Your height, you got just as much advantage in height as you do in reach. You got about a 6, 7 inch difference in height. You got about the same in reach. So you use that to
Hmm.
your advantage and stick to the basics, stick to the fundamentals. Knowing, like I say, if I know you got a shot body, man, I just don't think. I think what a stopping would be a body shot. Yeah, of course, Tyson definitely got the power to put you out, but
Right.
I can see Usyk being stopped with a body shot. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand on it. If Tyson can, can bide the time, right angle, and connect one of those, I think he'll see it for himself too.
Right.
And that could become a different fight. So anything under 8, I'm gonna go with Fury, and I will say it's a toss up. Anything after that, more so favoring Usyk if it go past 8.
Right.
I
Right.
would say my favorite would be you know what? Honestly, because Tyson, even though Tyson got caught with that shot, the shot is what took it out of him. It took it all the way out of him. He didn't recoup from that.
Right.
He didn't recoup from that one. That shot he didn't recoup from that. I think he felt that for the duration of the fight, and that's why he ultimately ended up you know kind of scowling, and we wondering why he switched the style up, why he's not applying the brakes. Applying the pressure like he was at first. Why is he putting on the brakes? Because
Right.
that shot, it rattled him. You
Yeah.
know, he can avoid the simple mistakes that can end up being major, end up having major consequences. I can see Tyson doing it easy. Like I don't even see it. I can see him doing it easy if he just stick to what he know. If he stick to what he came in with, I think he can make a hell of a champion look like a cakewalk. That's my prediction.
Okay. Good prediction.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say anything 8, 9 and under. I'm gonna go with Tyson, and I damn near stand. I'm gonna stand on that. Anything 9 rounds and under. I'm going with. Is they going? Are they going 12?
I believe so. I think it is a 12 rounder.
If they going 12, anything 9 and under, I'm going. I'm gonna say that the winner of that is definitely going to be Tyson Fury. If they go past that, I'm leaning more towards another decision, another split decision, or a stoppage. Because I done seen Tyson once he drank. I don't know how the hell he got up off of. After that Deontay Wilder knockdown. Like, I don't know. I don't understand that one.
Right,
They
right.
first. I don't know how the fuck he woke up. You know,
Yeah, he's
but
special.
when he got up a different animal. He got up
Hmm.
like an animal who just seen death and kind of don't want to go back. So yeah, yeah. Anything under nine, man, hands down, I'm going with Fury. And
Okay.
I think it's going to be kind of like the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua fight. Joshua got that sneak in. I mean, got snuck, slipping, acting crazy, came back and got his shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So get my shit back. This didn't belong with you. You just borrowed it for a couple of days. You know, I just wanted you to see what it felt like to have it around your waist. You clone the meat fool. And it's definitely
Hmm.
gonna have to be a round three because no matter how unless Usyk win, if Tyson win this one, it only makes sense to go for a third round. It
Right.
only makes sense, especially if it's a good fight, and I'm expecting it to be a good fight.
It's gonna be a good one. Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be a really good fight, and the fact and it raises my suspicion the fact that I really haven't been seeing much on Usyk.
Scoop still. Stand by.
So and he's not a fucking fool.
Right.
Only thing he know how to do is win, win, win. He got too many of them. So if you add basically the 330 something fights he has as an amateur plus his what? He's what, 22-0 now? 23-0, 22, 23, something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Record, that's basically, won, you know, by right over 350 fights inside of a ring. Come on, man. Come on, man. So yeah,
Yeah, man.
he definitely got his hands full. But and it's definitely gonna be a good fight. But I'm gonna stick with my prediction for the first one. I'm going with Tyson Fury, hands down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely you could go either way with this one, just like the first one. It's one of those type of situations like if Fury does pull it off, you can't be too surprised. He got it in
Right,
him.
right. It's not like yeah. It's not like he was the guy that can get it done. Because if anybody can beat Usyk, it's Tyson Fury for sure.
Right.
You know, but it's still gonna have to be a trilogy. It's gonna have to be one of
Oh
those.
yeah.
Each season has a trilogy type of a situation, and this is definitely that trilogy. It's just fortunately, or I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate for Tyson Fury, but he actually this is gonna be his second round. His first trilogy was with Deontay Wilder. And I think if it is gonna be a trilogy, it should be with Usyk, especially if he beat Usyk and stop him, not just beat him, but stop him.
Hmm.
If he stop him, it's a guaranteed another round, guaranteed, guaranteed. And I think that's how it's gonna end. It's gonna be a stoppage.
Oh
I think it's
man.
gonna be a
Yeah.
stoppage.
Can't wait. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a stoppage. Possible broken rib if Tyson pay attention to it and realize, that man don't have a body.
You're
This
gonna
is
have to come
back
with
and
that.
he can
Come with
get
that
it.
Mike Tyson body shots. Ain't play no game.
Yeah, it's all about how you gonna get to the body. So, when it comes to that, it's just I just want to see them both be able to go home the way they came in the ring. Maybe a little
Right.
bruised up. Or
Yeah.
hell, a lot of let's be honest, you want to see blood. I want to see blood. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to see blood and go over them two guys get in the ring. You know. But yeah, man, I just can't wait for the fight. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see the fight.
man.
It's been a long time coming.
Yep.
You know, been a long time coming. And on the side note, right, Javante and Roach,
Yeah.
that's not a bully situation. I feel that's not a dumb move. I know a lot of the viewers feel that way. A lot of people feel that Javante's picking a shot. No, Javante fighting a motherfucker that no can fight. That was
Right.
probably, in my opinion, one of the most rawest interviews Javante gave when he showed up to that press conference by himself and was saying the things you said. I was reading between the lines. They
Mm-hmm.
fought 3 times. They fought. I wanted to, what was it, twice already? They got a legitimate grudge. They
Right.
got a
Right. Right.
legitimate,
Right.
reason to want to raise their hands in victory again.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Uh, Roach is not used to the weight he's about to go in the ring with Tank at, but because he used to fight featherweight or something like that.
I think
Um,
Roach was 130 and stepped up
130.
to 135
Right,
to fight Tank at 135.
right. And even though a lot of people that don't know much about boxing, they say, "Oh, that's only a 5 pound." That's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
Right.
Huge difference, especially when that's the same difference as that a pound of pressure if you're using that terminology. It only take that to put you out. So you
Right.
5 pounds heavier already is a disadvantage. That's it. 2, 3 pounds is still heavy. You know what I mean? Like as far as when you get technical to the shit. But I don't believe that Javante is picking a shot at all. He's not picking a shot. He's fighting somebody who deserve it.
Right.
Maybe a little underrated in the eyes of a lot of viewers,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a legitimate fight. It's a
Right.
legitimate. He chose a good one,
Yeah.
you know, and he's setting in place. He's setting in. I believe what he's doing is kind of setting the stage for other guys that he feel and see as actual true competitors out here in the sport of boxing, lining them up. Whether he beat them yet, because he's undefeated, of course, 28, you know, uh, 26 knockout. But I think what he's doing, he's setting the stage for great guys to give the next wave of boxing some excitement. Because if we leave it up to you know, certain powers to be, the sport of boxing would have been deteriorated. And it has been guys like Tank Davis has been keeping it alive. I do believe he's, a huge face of boxing, you
Right.
know, and I do give credit to him for taking a fight with Roach. That's not an easy fight. That's not a even if he make it look easy. That's not a simple
Right.
motherfucker right there. That man ain't just something to look past and look back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker is just like a Terrence Crawford almost to a certain extent. He's worth looking at. He's worth watching.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and you don't have to get on it. A lot of guys. You got to
It,
get
it,
through. You got to get through it, man.
yeah. And to your point, it's kind of like I seen a fight from Saturday. Jaime Munguia.
Mm,
Um, he fought a couple of names you might be familiar with. Darian Chinko,
mm,
Ryder, and he fought Canelo. Well,
mm,
Jaime is like 45, 44 fights in. He had only lost to Canelo. He fights a
mm,
guy from France that many people didn't know. Uh, Suras. His name was Suras. Suras was only like 25 with 5 knockouts. And boom, he ended up being the one to knock out Mugia.
mm.
Upset. So I was just telling my other
Going back on
cousin
my
on
front.
my mom's
Yeah,
side, like, hey, you got to give these guys these opportunities because sometimes they
yeah,
turn up. because they're hungry. They got something to prove.
But also to my point earlier, it only take one shot.
That's all.
It take one shot. And I don't give a fuck
Hmm.
who he is. Do you think Tyson expected that he would? Tyson wasn't supposed to go down to Buster Douglas. But the way the powers to be and the way
Okay.
things lined up, Buster Douglas wasn't supposed to lose either.
Facts. Hey, big
So
bro.
things kind of went, yeah,
Yeah, we got a guest. He want to chime in with us. He want to jump on.
okay,
Come on,
okay.
Scoop. This is my big bro in the middle, Scoop. Big Zoe.
All right, now how you doing, Scoop?
Doing well, guys. Can y'all hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
I can hear you, bro.
Great, great. So y'all talking about the Munguia Karahe fight?
Yeah. I just uh, touched up bro a little bit about it on how. Just speaking of how we were talking about Tank versus Lamont Roach, and how the underdogs sometimes end up being the ones that be victorious.
Tank ain't
Yeah,
that.
but
Tank
I
ain't that
was,
though.
I know he ain't, but I'm just saying.
I feel you, but
Generally
like Tank
speaking,
ain't that. Yeah.
yeah.
I was just mentioning in the comments on the Karahe fight. Like Karahe was 25-0, even though he only had 5 knockouts. He was still 25-0 and fought all over Europe, not just France. He fought in England, he's fought in Russia, he's fought in Germany, Denmark. He's fought all over the place. So he's seen a lot of different styles. Because and when you fought in places like Denmark and Germany and Russia, and you don't got power and you coming out victorious, that he got IQ. Because those places ain't just giving out victories to away fighters. You know, Europe is kind of known for giving away fighters a hard time on the decision victories. And the fact that this guy was able to figure it out 25 times in Europe, it shows that he's not afraid of big venues, because a lot of those venues are 8, 10,000 plus for small venue, for small time. Well, we would consider in America non-headline fights, because they in Europe they'll do 15,000 for a continental championship. They'll do 15,000 for a European championship or a British championship or the Eurasian championship. They're not like their boxing is built different, very very different. Not in North America, I would say not United States of America, because even Canada gets pretty big, crowds. We don't show a lot of Canadian fights, but America's kind of like the only I digest. But Karahe was really really good, and Karahe just kind of sidestepped, like half stepped on Munguia. Almost like not a 1-on-1 move, but like a 102 boxing, level maneuver. A little sidestep in the middle while getting crowded. Sidestep, pop. And that's all it was. It was like Munguia didn't see that, because it wasn't like it was a hard punch. He just didn't see the punch coming.
Coming. Yeah,
And
it's what he
and,
didn't
and it's
see.
and it's
Yeah.
like you got Morales in the corner. Morales was like the king of feints, setups, traps, for a Mexican fighter. So I'm kind of wondering, how did he not let him know to see that come? It's like, he knocked him down and he got overzealous and stuff.
Yeah, because he caught him in that second round with that left hook. And uh Mugia dropped him in that second round. So everybody thought it was gonna be a breeze. Mugia is gonna just pick him apart round after round, break him down, and then finish him off.
and see, that's something I gotta watch that. See, I didn't get a chance. I wasn't able to get a chime in to that. I had that was a work week for me, heavy one.
What's
But
you know what's crazier? What's sad is, like, I was trying to find the Mexican broadcast, because that fight was in Tijuana. Munguia is from Tijuana, and I think it was 20,000 sold out in a stadium. And this was free on national television in Mexico, like Channel 4 type stuff. So I was trying to find the Mexican broadcast, because Chavez Sr. and Juan Manuel Marquez was their broadcasters. And I'm trying to see what did they have to say about it, and if they had anything to say about it, because the place went silent. The only people that were cheering were Germans.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it
wild.
reminded it really much reminded me of when Kirkland got knocked out by Ishido on HBO. Um, and other situations pop up, but it's funny when the non-puncher knocks out the puncher.
Right. Not to say that the non-puncher never had power. Sometimes the
No,
non-puncher is the guy that won. He's more of a skill. Just he's more so technical than a knockout artist, but still can knock you out.
like
But
Bivol.
his
Bivol's
method
not
is
known like Bivol's not known for power, but ain't nobody just walking him down.
fuck no, no, no. And I agree with that. I agree with that.
People want to talk
Some
about
guys,
Devin, but guys are hesitant to walking Devin down as well. Outside of guys
yeah,
with
no,
really,
Devin's
really good
strong.
chin.
Devin's strong. And I can stand with that. But it's guys like, to me, it's guys like Shakur. That's I kind of won't want to see them go head to head. I won't want to see Devontae Tank Davis and Shakur have a fight.
What's
That
interesting?
wouldn't be okay.
Oh, Javante and Shakur.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good fight for me.
I guess that would depend on how Shakur fights.
I see
Shakur's not
Shakur
good.
run.
He not
I
going.
see
Well, he not going.
Shakur. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
Well, he's not. He's not going to make it easy. No, he's going to make it hard for him to be found. He's not going to fight on the inside. He's going to hold him. He's going to turn him. He's going to look for the judge the ref to help him on any type of foul situation, or a punch on the inside. I think it's going to come down to whether or not how Shakur fights. It'll come down to who can control the ref, who can control what ref is officiating. Because
Right.
if you got a Kenny Bayless, or a not say Draculich, but a Kenny Bayless, he's going to be more hands-on, while Jack Reese is a punch to get out kind of a guy. Tank's going to want a punch to get out ref. He's not going to want to break ref.
Okay.
That's how I think,
But you got to look at the judges too. A lot of
judges
times
are.
judges.
I think they're
Go ahead.
automatically going to be on Tank's side because of aggression. We've seen most recently judges change their archetype to more aggressive fighters in the last two years or so, even if that aggression isn't good. I can't say good, but a better word would be effective. If it's not effective aggression, then it's just wasted energy, in my opinion. But Tank isn't wasted energy. He already doesn't start fighting till round 2 or round 3. Well, round 3 or round 4. He doesn't start fighting till round 3 or round 4. But I think that's due to the fact that, this is my opinion, is that Tank can't fight the way he fights for longer than 7 or 8 rounds. I think the type of person to beat Tank is going to be somebody that makes Tank fight from round 1 to when it ends. You're not going to be able to just, you can't wait for Tank. You got to give it to him, because Tank's trying to see what you can do, how much power you got, how fast you are, how your feet are, how your reaction time is, and then he adjusts to all of that. You can't give Tank no time to adjust. You just got to jump on him. I don't mean like with just punches and bunches. It's going to take an educated power puncher with a chin to be able to put it on Tank in a way to where, okay, all right. You got to make Tank be more reactionary and use power. Takes energy. Throwing power punches takes energy, even if you are a natural power puncher. Even Wilder wasn't just throwing power shots from bell to bell. Julian Jackson wasn't throwing power shots bell to bell. You know, like the God-given power punchers, it takes them time to, you know, they're not just trying to throw shots. They can't just throw shots from bell to bell. Even Beater Beef. Beater Beef's known for taking his time settling into fights because he's a power puncher that takes energy, you know. So I
But
think it's gonna,
speed and precision equals power.
yes. But
So
I'm talking, but I guess I'm talking.
go ahead.
But I guess I'm talking about the guys where if Tank touch you, it's over. Tank got touch of sleep power. You know, Wilder got touch of sleep power. You know,
If you want
I think
Tank to fight from round one, you're gonna have to hurt Tank in round one.
understandably,
That's the only way to get Tank to fight you, and to get from round one. Like so, I believe Tank when Tank comes out, he's doing all of the things that a real boxer is supposed to do. A good boxer, a boxer with a great IQ. That means he's going out the first 3 rounds and filling you out, figuring out where your power points are. Where can he not be? Where can he not allow you? Where can where can he not be to allow you, your greatest asset? Tank fills you out. I don't believe it's the fact that he can't fight that way for, an extended period past 8 rounds. I think it's more so the fact that he's filling you out so he can know exactly how he's going to handle you because he actually understands how to manage that time, whether it's 10 rounds or 12. He's managing that time. And the best time to manage is, and preserve anything is the first couple rounds. I'm gonna feel you out, see where you at. And that's where there's, in my opinion, when he fought Frank Martin, he tricked the shit out of Frank Martin because he knew Frank was chasing something a little too hard and would kind of get out of his element and try to get it out the way quick. He let that man punch himself out, and then he destroyed it.
well, yeah, I
You
agree with
know,
you too. I agree with you to a point. I just feel as though they,
and that was because Frank didn't have the extended period of experience, like we were saying about Usyk, and like we were saying about Tank Davis, and we saying about the Terrence Crawford. His experience is what cost him that fight. Because at the end of the day, overall, Frank was doing very well in that
I
fight.
just, well, in my opinion, too, I understand the experience part on your end, but how can I put this? I'm critical on a lot of fighters. I'm critical on Tank just mainly due to no unifications, you know, and I think he has two top 5 wins, like in his division, a top 5 fighter in his division. A lot of guys come up and come down to fight Tank, and that's no knock on Tank. That's just the people around him. You know, I don't necessarily think Tank has been put in there with individuals who can give him different levels and different layers and stuff like that. Like Frank was very good. I just don't think Frank didn't have the power to make Tank go, let me rethink this a little bit longer. You know, Frank had everything else, footwork, speed, IQ. His defense was pretty solid. I just think after a while, Tank realized you're not, nothing you throw at me can bother me. But I'm bothering you. I know I'm bothering you. You hit me 2-3 times. I don't move around. I hit you once or twice. You're moving around.
Now, I think in that situation, I disagree with that. I think Tank respected his power. Tank might not admit it, but I think Tank respected that boy power.
I don't not at
He might
one
not say
moment.
too much, you know.
I didn't think Tank reacted in any kind. It may have been a great poker face, but I didn't think Tank reacted in any kind of way to show that the power affected him because he never took a step backwards in the sense, to allow Tank to really mount up an offense. Tank was pretty much playing back foot a lot of times, and he was landing. He was landing at times 3 and 4 punch combinations, but
I ain't never seen Tank face like that.
Barrios fights, his face was knocked up in the Barrios fight. and in the Santa Cruz fight, but Santa Cruz throws a lot of punches, and Barrios hit like a mule. You know,
Right.
Tank even said Barrios is the reason he might not want to move up to 140. And in my opinion,
Right.
well, no one at 135 can beat you, in my opinion, unless it's Keyshawn. Keyshawn has a chance, you know, but that's another situation. I said, but any of the guys that can beat you at 140, you know, I think only two guys, in my opinion, right now have like the ability to beat Frank Tank, and I think Teofimo has the ability to beat Tank. And that's because I think Teofimo is he's gonna fight him from round one. You know, like he did Loma.
Yeah.
What did he do at Loma? He fought him from round one. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, you got me, bang bang. I'm gonna get you back. You know, and I don't know if that fight goes 12 against Tio and Tank. And even Tio said I gotta fight him from round one, and it ain't going 12. I don't think it goes 10.
See, the thing is, see, with my opinion with that, see, if Fimo and Tank, he gonna have to fight him from round one. Tank stronger. And in order to fight somebody from round one, you got to be willing to take some shots.
Well, yeah, but the thing
Matter of
is,
fact, you're going in with it, and so you going in with both your with both your energies on high. In order to wake Tank up, you ever seen Tank get hit and get hurt? He get mad. Period. He get mad. I ain't gonna say he get out the fight because that's where experience coming to play at. Tank get upset and he crush it. See, Fimo come in with that ideology. That's where he gonna fuck around and get himself crushed. He ain't gonna stand up. Tank gonna put him out quick, real
we
quick.
don't know yet. Like, we don't know because, in my opinion, like they've maneuvered Tank in such a way to where, like I said, he was at 130, no unification. He was at one. Now he's at 135. There's been no unification. He's dipped his toe at 140. You know, he doesn't want to move up to 140. You know, long term. And in my opinion, like, yeah, his skill set makes him great, but his resume does not. And when it comes down to the history of boxing, we measure you based off of who you fought, not of what you can do. Remember, like, I know you remember, the boxing public and media gave Roy a really bad time in the 90s because of, they say,
Yeah,
his lack of resume. But when you look back at it, he beat Bernard, he beat Mike McCallum, he beat James Toney, he beat Jorge
you can
Castro,
say it
he
about
beat
Tank
Reggie.
right now, though.
What?
You can say it about Tank right now.
No, because Roy fought the
Yeah,
number one guy when he moved up. No, James was the number one guy. He fought James. You know, Jorge Castro was a top 5 guy. He fought Castro. In my opinion, you know, Virgil Ortiz was a number one light heavyweight at the time, and he beat Virgil Ortiz. You know, we can't say Tank has stepped up and said, "I'm going to fight the number one fighter in the division." You know, point blank, period. You know, because right now, even at 135, he's not considered the best fighter in the division by the rankings. Skill wise, consensus he is. By us, he is. You know, but off of the resume, that's the one thing that's lacking within his career, and that's the only thing we can fault him for. You know, like, we can't. I don't really say he ducked anybody, but he just listens to the people behind him. You know, and to no fault of his own, is just equal to this situation where we can't doubt Tio. Tio's fought that level of caliber. You know, we can't
I ain't
doubt
gonna doubt
Devin.
him. I,
You
don't, I mean,
know,
I can
and
doubt
we
that.
gotta
I
and
can
we
doubt
gotta
that.
see, and we can see how Tio's like, we gotta see how things power in this, not just power, like everything translates consistently at 140. Mario is different. It's different when you gotta move around. You know what I'm saying? At a higher weight consistently against a fighter. You know, or to really think a little bit more against the fighter. That's just my opinion. I don't doubt Tank can be the best fighter of this generation. I just doubt will he have the resume to back it up.
I mean, when you look at the Mario Barrios, when you look at the Garcias, when you look at the Pit Bulls, when you look at the Rolly Romeros, when you look at the guys that he went up against, and some of them was naturally bigger, and he crushed them. That's what make him who he is. At the end of the day, he sticking to what he know. I think what Tank learned early is the politics of boxing. That's why I think right now, coming into this fight with Roach, and we seeing a different Tank team wise, uh, uh, aura, energy, just the way what we seeing right now. We seeing a young old nigga. That's what we looking at. He
Well,
learned
in
this
my
shit a
opinion,
long time ago. A
well, in
long
my
time
opinion, when it
ago.
comes, well, I don't consider Pitbull a bigger fighter because Pitbull was a top 10 lightweight when he fought him. You know, Pitbull had fought his whole
Goddamn right.
career at lightweight. I don't consider him a bigger fighter because you know, once Pitbull fought a skilled 140 fighter, you saw the skill gap. You saw the big difference when he fought a skilled 140-pound fighter. You know that. You know, we can't forget Jesus Cuellar. You know, we can't forget Hugo Ruiz. You know, a lot of guys he made come up. You know, when they were valuable fighters from the fight at 130 pounds and champions from the fight at 130 pounds. You know, like Russell. You know, or Farmer. You know, regardless if he would have beat these guys, we know he would have beaten these guys. It's the fact that we haven't seen him fight another active champion in his division. You know, I don't even Roy unified the whole division.
Right. He did that.
You know, hasn't and not in the history of boxing. History can change, but never in the history of boxing can a fighter, in a sense, go their entire career getting away with never fighting another active champion and get all the credit they deserve. It's never really happened. Even guys who were iced, like Winky Wright, was even able to do it. You know, and they wanted to fight Winky. You know, like we've seen less guys be able to, like Diego Corrales. You know, we've seen lesser ability fighters be able to become the number one fighter in their division across the board, and it's
Pacquiao
just
did
frustrating.
that.
Yeah, Pacquiao went up 8 divisions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
12 belts.
Duran went from 130 to 160. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Mikey Garcia, 130 to 147. Like,
Right.
unified division, stuff like that. So I'm like, we can't lower the totem pole for fighters just because we still have to keep at the same. You know, hey, you want to be great, you got to unify, or you got to fight somebody, or 4 division, like legit 4 division. You know, so that's it. You know, the fans just want to see Tank in a fight where it is a 50-50 fight on paper. Most people think it's going to be the favorite walking in to this fight. You know, do I think he beat Shakur? Yeah. Do I still want to see it? Yeah.
I don't. That's not a fight I'm gonna be interested in seeing because what I'm seeing is a motherfucker who ain't gonna have the pillow puncher is probably the most accurate statement I've ever heard on the boxer. That's Shakur Stevenson. He a pillow. He got pillow. He got pillows in his gloves, man. No power. That's not exciting to me, bro,
Well,
at all.
for me,
Yeah, I can
I don't
see
really.
you got judges to where you got certain judges to where Tank and them could fight. I can see, in my opinion, I would call it running. Like we call it footwork. Some of it call it, but for 12 rounds, I can see Shakur just doing a little bullshit. And you got judges that give that up because he threw the most punches and he landed the most punches. Then you got some judges who judge off the impact of the punches, the damage of the punches, the effectiveness of the punch. You know what I'm saying? For every 10 of yours is one of mine. You got some judges that kind of weigh the odds that way with punch
Yeah,
effectiveness.
but in my
So
opinion, like it has to be Shakur because Loma's trying to. Loma's going to retire. Loma's trying to Loma's not in a rush to fight. And Loma's kind of like, yo, why you trying to fight me now? And I was trying to fight you at 130. You know,
Right.
like Loma's not trying to play that game with Tank. You know, and I respect it. If Keyshawn got to get past Dennis Berinchik, and people keep thinking, oh, Keyshawn, like Keyshawn's ace, but Dennis, remember, Dennis was supposed to lose to Emmanuel Navarrete, and Dennis uglied it up and got that victory. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, people keep thinking, I'm like, I know y'all looking at Keyshawn is nice, but Dennis is an Olympian, and Dennis knows how to fight.
You said Jerron Ennis?
No, Keyshawn. Keyshawn got Dennis Berinchik.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's that. They're fighting in February or March, and I'm like, this could go a draw. You know, Dennis knows how to get an ugly fight in his favor, and he's a little dirty. Lead with his head, some kidney shots. You know, like forearm punches. You know what I'm saying? Like move behind the judge and move behind and stuff like that, and breaks. Like he's crafty, and Davis got to fight a very, very disciplined fight to beat Dennis, and Dennis isn't going to care about power.
Well, check this out, Dennis, Scoop. I'm gonna piggyback off of what you and my big bro said. So I would agree with bro that Shakur and Tank is something that purists want to see. I would say it's even something that the casuals want to see too. But I can understand where he's coming from. That it's gonna be like Shakur gonna just, do that pop. They're gonna be no power, just enough to get in range to throw a couple licks real fast and get on that bike or whatever. Because he's not gonna want to engage once he feels that power tank. Even if he feels half the power tank, he's gonna get on that bike. He's gonna respect it. I think somebody like Floyd Schofield would have been like more of a put their neck out there a little bit more, or Keyshawn Davis. If he fought Tank, I can see him taking the risk and the gamble more than Shakur is gonna do. Because you remember, Bud told Shakur, he tried to give him some game, like, hey man, you should have did this, you should this. Remember, he went back and apologized to everybody for how he performed. Shakur did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Shakur lacks killer instinct. That's the only thing.
Well, yeah.
But you have all if you don't have power, you can have all the killer instinct in the world. Killer instinct ain't got shit to do with and then you admitted it yourself out of your own mouth.
And I
get
that.
Out of your own mouth, you don't have power. That means you don't figure out you haven't figured out how to snap your punch and make it effective.
Well, I get that, I understand that, but he still did something Tank wouldn't do. He unified and became the number one fighter of a division. Like there were like politics could have stopped that fight, but the other side didn't. And if Tank has no kill, if Shakur has killer, then you know where you can push him to bring him to that, to get him to that point. The sad thing is that when Tank is asked about, Teofimo and Devin and, Shakur, he acts like he doesn't have to fight them at all to get validation or recognition. Like that's like his attitude,
Right.
And that you can have that attitude, but at the same time, you have to understand that Tank, sadly, if you retire if you retire next year, as you say, and you don't have one of those guys on your resume, it's going to affect you in the Hall of Fame polls. The big guy will be there. Wise, people will ask questions. Why didn't you? Why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? You know, you have all this pull and such and such and such. You know, the questions will be asked on mostly Tank if the fights happen. They won't ask, you know, and I don't know, you know, when Tank was saying like I'm not a dumb guy, you know, I'm gonna be smart on how I move in my career. You know, we like to hear that from one standpoint, but then I remind people just the box is crazy. You know, and the fighters of all time are insane. Literally insane. Roy Jones Jr., I want to fight a heavyweight.
Right.
James Toney, I want to fight a heavyweight. Roberto Duran, I want to fight Iran Barkley. What? You know, Manny Pacquiao, I want to fight Hatton. You know, Floyd, I want to fight Corrales. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's every fighter has a crazy gene in them, and it takes sometimes for you to tell your handlers, look, I don't care what you say, make the fight happen. That's what Floyd said to his handlers to make the fight would happen. I don't care what it costs. I don't care about the politics. I'm not fighting nobody else but Ricky Hatton after this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think he has the gene in him to just say, no, I don't care what y'all say. I'm fighting this person. You know,
I think that's kind of what he did with I think that's kind of what he did with Roach, though.
Roach is coming.
Roach
Roach is coming up from 130, and apparently Roach was supposed to fight Tank instead of Garcia. Remember when Tank fought another guy that moved up again, Hector Garcia, who moved up from 130?
Yeah.
They were Tank and Roach supposed to fight Tank then, but Roach had beat Colbert. I mean, not Roach. Garcia had beat Colbert.
Okay.
Chris Colbert.
Yeah, I remember Chris Colbert with the different color hair.
Yeah, so Lamont Roach was number one in line after he beat Jamel Herring, but they had already told Chris Colbert, hey, if you can get past, you know, Garcia, then we'll work out a New York-Baltimore fight with Tank. But Colbert he fumbled the bag, lost to Garcia, so they gave the fight to Garcia since he had a bigger name beating Colbert. So this Roach fight was kind of a long time coming. It just kind of looks a little bit better, I guess, since, you know, Tank's fans can say, you know, I ain't gonna say fans, the fanboys, you know, the fanatics can say, oh, he's fighting another champion, you know, but it's like, this might not be the same fighter because he's moving up a whole division.
Yeah.
Now, let me go back to Stevenson one more time. So, talking about how we feel about Stevenson, I think it's going to be a big statement when he fights Kid Austin. Kid Austin, somewhat green, you know, young, don't have the experience level of Shakur. So Shakur should be able to get him up out the way. This should be the opportunity that he can get Schofield up out the way.
Anything less than a stoppage, his stock is destroyed.
Are you talking about Roach?
No,
he's talking about Stevenson.
Shakur fighting Floyd Schofield, Kid Austin.
Because Stevenson's his own worst enemy.
Kid Austin has much less experience than Shakur. So Shakur should be able to get him up out the way.
So you said Austin's stock will be destroyed or
Stevenson's stock will continue to plummet if he doesn't get a stoppage. It will just continue to plummet because it's not like he cute like Pernell. He just moving out the way. You know, at least Pernell made it a show. You know, Pernell was beating. I told someone, I said Pernell was beating guys so bad at his peak.
He had knocked you out.
It wasn't even fair.
He had knocked you out.
I said Pernell was so was so mean at his peak. You know, I said he got robbed his first championship fight, and then after that, he was beating guys so bad that you gotta give it to him. You know what I'm
That's why
saying?
he
Like,
got robbed.
so but Stevenson don't got that. He don't got that bone in his body. You know what I'm saying? So
That's why I won't want to see it.
but that's why I was breaking down. Even if Tank fight Keyshawn and he beats Keyshawn, they won't give him the credit for fighting Keyshawn because they'll say Keyshawn was too green. As you say, the experience factor. That's the one thing they'll hold over his head. Oh, so you fight the champion with the least amount of experience?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you're great, you're held to a greatness
Yeah, I'll be
level.
right back, y'all.
All right, brother.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, if he don't fight Stevenson, he gotta move up and fight a champion at 140 pounds. He gonna have to fight Ryo. He gonna have to fight Teofimo. He gonna have to fight Richardson Hitchens.
I
You
think he
know,
already got it set in his mind that he gonna fight Shakur. And he know
hopefully
that the
that fight
Shakur fight
happens.
gonna generate a lot of money. He gonna probably go on. He gonna probably go out with as long as, and it's gonna a lot of it gonna have to do, be up to Shakur to win his fights to
Well, the
keep
thing
his
is,
stock. But
well,
I
I
think
say this.
when he go out, I think Tank gonna go out on Shakur Stevenson. When he retire, I think it's gonna be on Shakur.
He's gonna have to do it quickly, otherwise Shakur is big. People forget Shakur's a big guy, even for 135 pounds. He's like 5'9",
Yeah,
and the fact that he
yeah,
made 126 is crazy. You know,
right,
he's a big guy, so he's not trying to stay at 135 long. So he could be moving
right,
up to 140 next year. You know what I'm saying? If he can't
right,
get a unification at 135, and people forget Shakur could fight Richardson and not get as much blowback to his career by not fighting
right,
Tank. He could fight Richardson. He could. Well, Richardson's at 140, but Shakur could say, "No, I'm gonna move up to 140. I'm gonna fight Richardson Hitchens and become a 4 division champion."
okay,
You know, he could do that. They're all on the zone. They're all under Eddie Hearn.
right. I think Shakur and Tank is gonna be Tank last fight. He gonna finalize it all with him. I think he gonna, I think it might be a possibility where the Lomachenko gonna pop off, but if not, I believe for sure the Tiafimo fight is definitely gonna be a part of it. That's almost guaranteed. I think, and the Shakur Stevenson gonna be his final exit. He gonna clean dude clock and become the face of boxing. You know, so
All right. I I hope I hope he falls off on Shakur. I mean, I don't know. We don't even know if he's for real going to retire after, as he says, after next year. He
I
only
want
fights
to see it.
twice.
I want
He
to
only
see it.
fights. He only fights twice a year. You know what I'm saying? So like, that means only 3 more fights at this weight class. Or if he doesn't move
Right.
up, if he does retire, cool. You know, it won't be the first time we see a fighter retire at their peak. You know, Ward did it. I think Ward was way more
Mm-hmm.
established. I think the guys who have retired on their own without it being injury were always. Ward was more established. Calzaghe was more established. Hell, Sven Otke was more established. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Lennox Lewis way established. Well, Lewis wasn't retired, wasn't undefeated, but Floyd. You know, everybody knows Floyd. You know, so the
Mm-hmm.
times it has happened, guys were kind of like, you know what, there really isn't more for me to really do as far as laying my claim in the history of boxing. You know what I'm saying? You really can't say, you can't talk about the history of boxing without mentioning Calzaghe, Floyd, you know, Ward, um, Sven Otke. You know, you really can't. So with Tank right now is like borderline. Can you talk about Tank? Yeah, you can. But is it going to be because he fought, other guys in the history books? Not necessarily at this point. We can say.
Right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the main event on Saturday because me and bro was talking about it. So what do you think, Dez, about Usyk Fury?
Usyk got the advantage psychologically. Usyk knows he can beat Fury. Hell, he knows that he can hurt Fury. Fury wants to say, "I was playing." In the recent press conference, and I said, "Oh, all right. If you're playing, then I got both my teeth." So I'm like, you was rocking my boy. So
Yeah, for sure. I think he could have possibly meant he was playing, meaning he was playing as high while he got popped with that shot because he was acting funny. You know what I'm saying? That's when he started. When he switched his game up and started playing around, he got his ass popped. You know what I'm
because you don't
saying?
play boxing.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, you don't
you
play
should let them
boxing.
motherfuckers know like he's playing. Like that's all it took for Usyk. Like they call Usyk the cat. Like I was saying earlier, they call him the cat for a reason. That bitch laid in the motherfucking bushes for that shot.
Look, man, Usyk's a problem. I told people like Usyk been whooping on top talent since the amateurs. He done beat Beater Beef twice. He beat Joe Joyce.
Sean Porter. Or did Sean Porter beat him? I think Sean
he beat Sean Porter. Oh yeah, Sean got a win. Did Sean got a win on Usyk? I know Sean fought everybody in the amateur. Sean fought Boo Boo. He fought Keith. He fought one. I know he fought Crawford. He fought
Errol Spence.
Spence.
Adrian Broner.
Sean Broner. And people forget AB done fought a lot of people from the amateurs going in.
Yeah. He bet no smoke.
Boo Boo fought everybody. Boo Boo fought Crawford, Porter, Benavidez. Boo Boo hurt his own career, but I think Boo Boo's supposed to be getting Charlo or Plant next, from what I've heard. I don't know exactly, but it's supposed to be Charlo or Plant next. So either fight will be good to see. So that I think Usyk can get this. I think if Usyk wants to stoppage, he can get stoppage. I think Fury has to box on the outside, and anytime Fury gets close, he got to hold him and make it ugly. But when I mean Fury got to box on the out, when I mean box on the outside, I mean outside. Use the entire reach. He used to fight him how he fought Vlad.
Keep him out of range.
The entire time.
That's hard to do with
Usyk. That's the only way I see him winning, because he's not gonna win the mid range or the inside fight with Usyk.
No. He gotta keep Usyk away. He gotta keep him out. And if he do get him in, he's gonna have to work that body.
His legs are gonna have to be the best they have been since Wilder. Even better, because Usyk's smart. He's gonna have to have the best legs of his career. If Fury is not south, if he's not close to 250, it's a problem.
Right.
He has to be as close to 250 as possible. He has to be the lightest, the freshest he could possibly be for this fight. And like I say, he got to hope that all the drugs, the weight, the bad decisions don't all catch, the wars all don't catch up to him all in one round.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is he 2-1 favorite? Usyk or something like that? 2-1, 3-1.
Yeah, he up there. He up there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, could Fury, pull it off? Yes, Fury can pull it off. We've seen him do crazy things before. The only issue is he's smarter than Wilder, and he's more mentally sturdy than Vlad.
Right.
Because Vlad showed that, we've seen Vlad. I always said this. Vlad may be more accomplished than Vitaly, but Vitaly was always a better fighter.
He was. Mm-hmm.
Vladimir may have been more agile and faster and lighter on his feet than Vitaly. But I say this: Vitaly, in my opinion, was the most dangerous heavyweight, arguably in the last 35 years.
Yeah, that fight he had with Lennox Lewis was crazy.
Lennox was lucky. Lennox got lucky that fight was in Vegas. He was lucky that fight was in Vegas. If that fight was in Texas or New York or any California, any but Vegas, that went the whole 12. That fight happened in California, going the whole 12.
Right.
It happened in SG, we won all 12. Because people forget that fight was postponed twice. The fight with Vitaly. It was postponed once because he lost to Hasim Rockman. And then it was postponed again because of Ocean's 11.
Right. But yeah, to a prior point that Gene was making earlier, though, Sean Porter did defeat Alexander Usyk. So in the amateurs, that's one of the 15 losses that he did have. Just was touching base on that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for Saturday, man.
Days.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the follow-up after the fight on next Sunday.
What's the undercard looking like? What's the undercard?
Okay, he gonna look it up for me. Hold on. Cause I want to say Bivol Peterviev 2 is on the undercard, I think. So that'd be nice. But I ain't don't quote me.
I got who's the undercard? I searched about Fury and Usyk. I'm like, what's the undercard? Undercard trash?
I want to say it was okay. It might be like if you rated it like a B level undercard, but he's about to check it.
I guess Serhii Bahuchuk faced Yukabasin Israel Majamov.
No, that fight's off.
That fight's off?
And Majamov? Yeah, that fight's off because it's Bohachuk versus Ishmael Davies. Yeah, Majamov pulled out due to bronchitis because I think Majamov got a fight with
Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen, Dennis McCain versus Peter McGrail, Isaac Lowe versus it's not showing that part. But yeah, so right now you got Dennis McCann, Peter McGrail, junior featherweight, Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen, heavyweight, Moses Adamo versus Dempsey McKean, heavyweight. And then you said the Majamov and Serhii middleweight stay off, so they probably gonna fill that slot. Yet to be determined so far, according to what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, Moses Ntuma, he's up and coming, so he's pretty nice.
Who you talking?
Moses Ntuma.
Okay, yeah.
From England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm just patiently waiting for that day to come, man, to see if, my man's going to get some redemption.
Yeah.
See if we're going to see, a fight put together is going to be worthy of a trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah, Sergey
I know the
Boychuk is
more
nice.
early.
Sergey Boychuk is nice. I thought he'd be Virgil Ortiz when they fought not long ago, but it was a close fight. It was a close fight regardless. Yeah, Moses Atima, he's good. I've seen good things from him.
Hey, Zo.
Yeah.
JC said, focus on that picture down there.
Let me see.
See, Usyk when he rocked Fury. I think that was
Oh
round 9.
yeah.
That's the one that got it going.
Yeah, that's the one he got to playing this running around playing and shit. Like shit was sweet.
Yeah.
The cat was waiting for his dumb ass to pop out the hat and rock the shit out of him. Look at it. Crushed him. He ain't come back out of that. And I think, as long as, but Tyson hurt him too with a body shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and, I just, Tyson's got to recognize and understand his way to keep those inches and recognize.
It's gonna be the right uppercut to the body is gonna be the key for Fury, in my opinion. Left hook and the right uppercut body is be the key for him. Those three punches. If he can jab well, hook off the jab well, you know what I'm saying? A long jab, like a long hook. I mean, a real long, like a baby hook off the jab, and the right uppercut to the body when Usyk thinks it's sweet. You know what I'm saying? Those are gonna be the key to helping Fury. If I'm prepared to see Fury not make a 10 count. Because inside of me, I think Fury's gonna be the best version of him. Inside of me, that say I'm up for this. No more debate. I'm gonna put away. So we just got to see how it turns out. So did y'all hear what Bivol said? Y'all hear what Bivol said? His game plan is going to be in a rematch
with Batavia.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear.
Going right at him.
Kind of like me and you talked about, but everybody who did that failed. Andre,
that's the one I want to see.
Yardy, Joe Smith Jr. They all try to come at Batavia.
Hold on there. Remember when Kovalev Ward, the first fight, Ward was too much away. At the end punch, Ward had the best chances in all the way inside. In box combat, I remember in martial arts and karate class, they always said if you're going up against someone that hits heavy, either be out the way of the punch or so far in they can't swing to generate power. Smother the punches. So I think that's what Bivol's going to be trying to do. Get in and try to smother Bivol. Is he going to have success doing that?
It's a big risk.
No. At this point, what does he have to lose?
Right.
He's already Lizzo, so he ain't got nothing else to lose. If he takes another loss at this point, oh well. But it's very interesting that he said he's going to go right at Bivol. Right at Beater Beef. So.
All right, brother. Well, I'm going to wrap it on up, man. This was a long session. Another good one. It's always good to chop it up. So we'll talk after Usyk and Fury's rematch next Sunday. We'll jump on and cover what we saw go down.
Okay. Sounds
Cool.
good to me, man. You have a good night.
Are you too, brother? Always. Peace. All right. I appreciate everybody that was here. And just before I go, anybody that happened to be in the chat room that's still there, hit that like button. And for everybody else, please subscribe and tell a friend or two to do the same. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we'll be here every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States of America. So join us live in the chat room, and I'll catch you on the next round. Peace.